asked you all to pick out a soap fragrance for me to use in a future soap video. You chose blueberry! Wonderful choice, but I don't want to make just any old boring blue soap. I want to take this soap to the Queen's Castle and give it a royal makeover. Will I succeed? Let's plan and find out. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of royalty is the pretty blue and white china with gold trimmage that every suburban mother has sitting behind a dusty cabinet that only gets cleaned during Thanksgiving. Royalty indeed. Starting with the soap design, I planned for the body of the soap to be a two-toned royal blue pot swirl of soapy elegance. Since this soap is royalty, it needs to hurt as you use it, so I'm throwing in some poppy seeds to resemble little bits of blended blueberry, and they'll also add some exfoliation. To incorporate that porcelain white, I'm going to do a flat layer of white on the bottom. I almost wanted to resemble those yogurt dipped granola bars, which like to pretend they're healthy because they
contain calcium and promote heart health.
But they're actually double stuffed Oreos in disguise. But that's what this soap is all about. Hiding a plain and simple truth behind a curtain of lies. I'm going to sprinkle a layer of gold dust to divide the white and blue, and on top I'm basically just going to mash the white and blue together and then drizzle some golden mica syrup on top. That's it for the design. Let's go make it a reality. Prepping my colors, I'm going to divide a 1/4 teaspoon titanium dioxide for the porcelain and a 1/2 teaspoon for the lighter blue color. My brilliant blue mica will be doing the heavy lifting, so 1/2 teaspoon goes into the lighter blue and a full teaspoon is reserved for the richer blue. I'm going to give each of those mica blends an oil bath using some of my oil blend and blendify until homogeneous. Make sure you moisten all the mica so it doesn't poof all over your table. My gold will be made from the Super Sparkle Light Gold mica, which has so many carats, Bugs Bunny would be jealous. 1/2 teaspoon of that gets blended with a bit of the oils. For mica drizzles like this, you want to add a little less oil than you think you'd need. With that, everything's prepped, so let's go make soap. I'm adding some of my Skin Edie liquid to my Skin Slimy liquid, all quantities listed in the description below. I'm going to blendify with my swirly twirly just until emulsified because the fragrance I'm using has a reputation for seizing soap batter, so I want as much time to work with it as I can afford. Now that it's brought to malicious milk consistency, I'm separating 120 grams of batter for my porcelain white layer. The TD cream goes in, and we get a really nice off-white sort of vanilla ice cream sauce. Delectable. I get that Calamity cream as thick as it can get while still being fluid, and pour most of it into my mold, making sure to save some leftovers for the top of the soap. Reporting in from Soap Universe News, the forecast calls for a heavy dusting of golden mica snow. I'm going a little heavy-handed with this golden blizzard because I was disappointed with the gold mica lines I made in my Wonka soap a few weeks ago. I linked it in the upper right-hand corner if you want to see what I mean. The metallic Venus flytrap of mica dispersion gets tapped so no gold gets left behind. I prepared a teaspoon of poppy seeds off camera, and that gets tossed into the rest of my batter in a not very intentional heart shape. Now I need to divide the batter to make my blues. I'm going 50-50 on this one, so I'm measuring 235 grams of batter to make the richer blue, and the leftovers will be the lighter blue. The fragrance you all chose was blueberry from Voyageur Soap and Candle, and smelling from the bottle, it doesn't really have an identity. I smell vague fruitiness, like opening a box of Fruit Loops. However, adding it to the soap, 10 grams into each of the blues by the way, the fragrance blooms into this wonderful fresh blueberry smell. It's not like a dessert blueberry, so it's not giving like my third blueberry muffin of the morning vibes. It's giving blueberry field on a warm summer day and you've just filled your third bucket of the morning vibes. You just sort of get a face full of blueberries, kind of like that little girl. I gave my two blues a good mix to get them nice and uniform, and side by side, look at these two shades. Like, come on. You just know they're gonna be best friends. I'm gonna pour half of my light blue on one side of my dark blue bucket, and then hop over to the other side and pour in the rest of the soapy blueberry smoothie. Now, I know someone in the comments is gonna say,
but blueberries are actually purple, not blue.
Correct. 100% right. I'm very gently layering my blues over that gold, and I'm very, very surprised at how well this blueberry fragrance is performing. Blueberry fragrance? There were so many rumors flying around about how terrible you perform, but those were just haters. I'm kidding. Obviously my soap batter is different, and even though it works for me, it might not perform well for other soap makers. After waiting around for a bit and cleaning the dishes, the top is ready to texture with the back of a spoon. I really want to excavate the top. I mean, those wells should be deep. This is meant to symbolize the growing disparity between the rich and the poor. Halfway through texturing, I remembered that I wanted to add some of that leftover yogurty batter, so I drizzled some on top and worked it in as if I planned to do that the whole time. I was hoping to get a bit more mishmashy with the white because it just sort of looks like the white drizzle on top of a toaster strudel, but I was going to cover it up with some golden syrup anyways. And this golden syrup really pulls the soap up by its overalls. That pairing of blue and gold is just so luxurious to me. I mean, you should feel honored that I'm even letting you look at it. This luxurious soap of gold and blueberry royalty gets put in the soap chamber to sleep and saponify. 48 hours later, and this royal soap has gone 48 hours without getting its head chopped off. But today's the day. As is the case with a couple of my previous soaps, this one developed some heat fissures. I soaped pretty cool and I didn't gel this soap, so I have no idea where these cracks are coming from. Do any of you have any idea what's going on? Apart from the cracks, I'm really excited to cut this soap. I'm pretty hard on myself when it comes to some of my designs, and I always look at the faults, but this soap, I'm positive I'm not going to have anything negative to say. But there's only one way to find out. While we cut a sample, please remember to subscribe and ring the bell if you're enjoying this content. Alright, let's take a look. And we have a luxurious blueberry soap that beats 90% of the other soaps I've done. I'll gush more about it in the product shots, don't worry. But first, can we talk about these wet spots? I'm guessing it's some unsaponified oil or fragrance oil which is causing the soap to weep a bit, and I've read that overheating can cause it as well, so I'm not too worried. If you run into this issue and you sell your soap professionally, you probably already know this, but just make sure that the weepiness isn't zappy or lye heavy. If it is, you'd probably have to rebatch. With all that aside, let's take a look at the product shots. This is probably in the S tier of all the soaps that I've made. I find it simple yet elegant and everything just works for me. This is an example of a pot swirl done right. It's not over blended, there's enough distinction between the shades of blue, and they're intensely ripply. I also love those tiny black poppy seeds just sitting there within the blue. It really does resemble some sort of kiwi blueberry smoothie or something. That gold mica line is more successful than the one in my Wonka soap, so I've made some progress. And that white there on the bottom separating the blues just looks really pleasing to my eyeballs. Now, something about the ratio and Fibonacci and I don't know, something mathematical. But all these colors together give me fancy white, blue, and gold china. I would say I scored that goal. Naturally, I had to call this soap Blueberry Bling. It's blueberry, it's glitzy gold bling, and the two words are fun to say together. Finally, that blueberry smell is just so fresh. It's a really nice balance of fruity and sweet, but not overly sweet, and there's almost an herbaceous, leafy sort of smell. It's actually a really complex fragrance for being a blueberry. In a rare instance of soap universe tomfoolery, I would consider the soap to be a complete success. I wouldn't want to change anything about it. But let me know what you think. Your thoughts are incredibly valuable to me, and this soap, after all, is dedicated to you. That was a soap journey with the soap universe. Thank you for watching. Bye.